perhaps I should say, in case it passed you by, that last November, Adrian Walmsley, who was Vice President Membership, retired as Vice President Membership, and kind of out of the blue, Council elected Iain Thompson to be Vice President Membership. And I wasn't really expecting that, and nor were you, I guess. If you'd asked me that 3 years ago, would I be Vice President, I would have said never. You know, I didn't see this coming at all. Right, can I? Yes. Those of you that are parents might be familiar with the ritual of the bedtime story. And one of my children's favourite bedtime stories was The Elephant's Child by Rudyard Kipling from the Just So stories. And at the end of The Elephant's Child was this poem, which various people have used, but I don't think they usually attribute it to the Just So stories. I keep 6 honest serving men. They taught me all I knew. Their names are what and why and when and how and where and who. I send them over land and sea. I send them east and west. But after they have worked for me, I give them all the rest. Now, that's just a way of introducing. I thought it would be helpful to go through the how and the where and the what of membership boards so that we all know we're in the same place. One of the problems I've realised on taking over this job is that everybody has their own view of how BCS works and what their particular BCS board should be doing. And I regard it as my mission to try and converge those views. Because at the moment, I think your view is probably different from mine, and mine is probably different from Roger's, and that causes problems. So here's my summary of what I think membership board is about. What? Membership board is one of 4 boards. As you heard, there's been a review of governance, 4 boards that report to trustee board in the overall organisation. So trustee board is king in BCS. Apart from membership board, there's PPAB, Policy and Public Affairs Board, there's the BCS Academy, there's Professionalism Board, and then Membership Board. So those are the 4 boards. Why? Because Trustee Board can't do everything. By Trustee Board of dealing with membership and member groups and everything to do with membership, but not setting standards. That's Professionalism Board. So we don't set CITP or anything like that, but we're to do with maintaining member groups. When? Well, as you probably know, Membership Board was set up in 2010. Its predecessor was called Member Services Board. And Adrian Walmsley was the first Vice President of Membership and Chair of Membership Board. I think I'd like to record at this convention what a lot Adrian Walmsley did in setting up Membership Board and its 3 committees and getting everything going. And in a minute, I'll go over some of the things that I think we've achieved in those 3 years. In terms of the when now, Membership Board meets every 3 months, but we do a lot of communication in between meetings, and we have electronic discussions and all that sort of thing. So the when is all the time. How does Membership Board work? Well, apart from meeting itself, its role is in strategic oversight, as it's how put in the terms of reference for membership. So membership board actually feeds to the strategic plan that trustee board has. So as the other boards, we create the strategy for membership and members groups and feed that into the overall strategic plan for BCS that trustee board have. In the other direction, membership board has 3 committees, as you're probably well aware. It has the finance committee, the best practice committee, and the policy committee, and we, through those committees, operationally deal with things on the ground, like setting the rules for member groups, like deciding the budgets for member groups, and things like the finance committee approving extra funding for this, that, or the other. Where? Well, today is a good example. We have membership groups all over the globe, don't we? We have Mauritius, we have Sri Lanka, as well as Aberdeen to Swindon and the southwest. we cover a lot of ground. Sadly, membership board, given that I'm not a resident in the southeast, membership board meets in London. I'd love the membership board to meet in Edinburgh, but nobody else would agree with me on that, I don't think. But we have had one meeting in Swindon, and maybe I can get the rest of the board out and about a bit more, because I think it'd be good to teach them that things happen in other places than Southampton Street. The WHO. Membership board consists of, apart from the vice president and chair, 3 chairs of those committees. So there's the chair of policy, best practice and finance committees, and then 2 members of staff, David Evans and Judith Taylor, the head of director of membership and the head of member groups, and 11 ordinary members. Now, because it was set up in 2010, and the span of a life on membership board is 3 years, although that can be renewed once, there are a whole lot of vacancies coming up this year in membership board. So one of the things I'd like to suggest to you, would you like to consider putting your name forward for membership board? Right. These are just some, I'm getting glared at by Margaret for timekeeping. Some of the things that I think we've achieved in the past 3 years. As you all realise, the Best Practice Committee has been running conventions for 3 years and making a very good job of them. I think this is a marvellous environment for a convention. The Policy Committee has rejuvenated and reviewed all the member group rules. And I'm going to give them the mess that we had in 2010. I think we've got a much clearer set of rules and regulations. It's an ongoing job. The Finance Committee, as you know, well, that's been me, so I better not say too much about that. But I think the one thing I would like to say we've achieved is the principle of carrying forward funds, so that groups that make a surplus can actually have that surplus available in future years. And as Roger mentioned, we have succeeded in persuading trustee board to keep the level of funding for member groups over the past couple of years in rough times when other parts of BCS have been finding it very hard to get money. All the members of membership board have supported member groups and their events in various ways. I shan't go into too many details, but we all do that. The Best Practice Committee had a very successful recording and broadcasting working group, and on the volunteer portal you'll find their report, which tells you all you need to know about setting up recording for a session, and they're doing it as I speak this afternoon. It's a marvellous and in-depth report to aid you with what you need to buy and how you record your sessions. And just recently we've got an agreement for posting videos of sessions on YouTube, so it's all go on that. We've set up the volunteer portal, a very quick access, easy way of communicating with you and for you to record your opinions about rules and other things. And indeed, the vacancies we have on boards and committees will appear on the volunteer portal. We've created some new member groups. The one I'd like to mention is the Entrepreneurs Specialist Group, so that we are supporting entrepreneurs through the specialist group mechanism. And we're continuously developing membership strategy and working with David Evans and his team to devise new ways of recruiting people and how we hold on to the existing members. And it may not be apparent to you, but our retention rates for members are much better than other professional bodies in the UK at the moment. There are a lot of people who are saying, can I afford my membership subscription? Is it worth it? Am I getting value for money in other institutions and not renewing? And the renewal rates within BCS have held up remarkably well. We're trying to improve communications. Roger said communications was a priority. Improving communications is a priority for us on membership board as well. be happy to talk to anyone, anytime. And if you want to email me, my email is just my name at bcs.org. As long as you spell my name the Scottish way, I-A-I-N, you'll get through. We must get better at communicating, but we can only do that if you help, because we need two-way communication. It's not about broadcasting, it's about hearing what you think as well as you hearing what we think. And the final point on here, we are developing training for members of committees. As you may know, some of you were there, I know. We had a Treasurer's Day last week. We've done quite a lot on making sure that treasurers are familiar with what we expect them to do. The Best Practice Committee are developing training for other committee roles, for chairs and for secretaries, so that we can have good functioning, efficient committees. This is, I should say, not a new slide, you might have seen it before, but this is our current vision for membership board, and I hope to evolve this over the next couple of years. But we want people to feel that membership is something they've achieved and that they value it. And you can all help with that. If you demonstrate to your colleagues that you value your membership and being in the BCS is worth something to you, then they will think it might be worth joining up. If you badmouth HQ for the sake of argument, you might be putting somebody off. So just think about how you represent BCS when you're talking to your colleagues, because you can help. But our vision is that membership is representative and influential, so that we get large numbers of people involved in BCS. And we're not there yet. You know, the 70,000 members that we have, a tiny proportion of the IT community in the UK. So we have a long way to go, but that equally means there's a lot of potential for growth. When I say membership is efficient and effective, what I mean is that we're very good at handling membership, at making people feel welcome, at making people feel they've joined a good body that has efficient systems and lots of support. So finally, we need you. We need your help. We need your communication. We need you on the boards and the committees and the council, because we depend on volunteer effort. And we will be looking for some new membership board and committee members in June. We're going to put the vacancies up on the volunteer portal, I've said that. Making the Institute a stronger and better place depends on you becoming involved. Thank you very much.
I think we have time just for one very quick question. Someone's got a burning question.
Jeff Sharman, I just want to thank Iain for mentioning the recording. Thanks, Jeff Sharman. I just want to thank Iain for mentioning the recording and broadcasting working group, to advertise the breakout sessions that we're doing this afternoon, and to say to Roger that when he talked about social media, that isn't just LinkedIn and Twitter. You need to think about Google Plus and YouTube and SlideShare. So please add that to the list. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.